Welcome to the Colors of Prague. I'm Louis Paul. This is episode 18 of this season. So, Miscellaneous International Prague. We are in the fifth season of the Colors of Prague, and if you had been watching earlier installments, started in the early days of the pandemic, I believe, I reviewed a grab bag of progressive music for the early shows, just random picks. Something old, something new, looks back, re-reviews, and I also discussed the occasional live show, things like that. Now, I haven't done that for a while, so back to it. Four progressive rock recordings you may not be aware of, and here we go. Oddleaf, where ideal and denial collide. That's the upper. They're from France, and they are new. Born from the ashes of a medieval and Celtic festival band, yes, Oddleaf deserves to be heard by a larger audience. Adeline Gertner, lead vocalist, has a voice not unlike Annie Haslam, and she sings in English. Karina Tora, backing vocalist and young in years, has an obvious love of symphonic Prague from both the British and Italian masters, and she's a keyboard player. Olivier Orlando plays guitars, bass, and sings. Matthew Rossi plays a variety of flutes, and Clement Corrado is the drummer. Their sound is fresh, new, and often calls back to an earlier time. And of course, they represent progressive music with two epic length songs, one running 15 minutes and another close to 12. So this is Oddleaf. English language title, English lyrics, sung in perfect English, and they're quite the band. I'm curious, if they ever released anything under. I neglected to take note of the previous band name title, where they were playing medieval and Celtic like music, as I said, for festivals. But they really knocked it out of the park with this one. So this was self-released in October 2024, so it's still a new release. And from France, we journeyed to Japan with PTF, all lowercase letters. PTF was founded in 2009, and they have a unique sound shared with a lot of other Japanese bands, instrumental-based bands, no vocals. A love for jazz fusion, symphonic prog, and maybe a tad more heavier than the similar, but not quite, sounds of Asturias, a very popular internationally known band that's also known as acoustic and electric Asturias. They've gained quite the following, Asturias, due to multiple appearances on the Cruise to the Edge floating Prague festivals. PTF, getting back to them, have released 5 albums since 2013, including their debut, Percept From, and the first 2 were on the French Musea label. The remainder of the recordings are on their own Perpetual Spring label from Japan. What is notable about all the release recordings are that if you like their music, you are getting quite the bang for your buck, for your dollars, as 4 out of 5 of the albums pass the 70-minute mark. 2024's ambiguous, fragile sign almost seems like a stripped-down sound in the band, but no less electric. Kaisuke Takashima's violin, the only stringed instrument aside from the bass, is not only prevalent, but at times you'll swear you are hearing electric guitar runs. But no, it's a violin. Takiya Kito plays keyboards, Hiroyuki Ito plays bass, and Yusuke Sika drums. Um, Curiously, all of their song titles on the releases, back to the debut in 2013, are feature English language titles. And this album has a 25-minute epic length song called Thesis. It's an above average band, PTF, and they need more followers. I recommend them. From Italy is the barely mentioned Deception Store, aka Deception Store Project. Now, there's not even a mention of this late 2021 debut on the revered Prog Archives site. So if you Google them, you will find some information. This is a project devised by a young middle-aged singer, Mario Pentozzi. It seems to be all at once a vanity project, grand symphonic throwback, and yet highly entertaining collection of songs. According to the liner notes in English, it's based on the work of the Greek poet Pindar, hence the CD title Pindaric Flights. But the songs deal with gambling, love lost and found and lost again, and some triumphs. Pentozzi is a clever fellow, and his vocals are sung in an almost unaccented English. I swore he was British. And he appears to be an enigma, as does the rest of the band members, so I found very little information on. So why was I so taken with this band that I thought I should recommend them? They're a collision of early Genesis, post Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd, and the occasional musical reference to a band like the Kinks. And you were left with a puzzling, highly entertaining release. This was on Marrakesh Records from Italy in late 2021. So, yeah, it's a very interesting band and highly recommend them. Deception Store. So from Italy, we journeyed to Norway for Pymlico. Arild Broter is a multi-instrumentalist who works with a variety of bands and is well known recently for a solo project where he paid tribute to James Bond theme music through the decades. And it was one of my favorites of 2024, being released late in the year. And I'll get around to a longer review of that another time. Pymlico is one of his side projects. A lot of members of Norwegian bands play on other bands' music, contribute. Sometimes they just do some session work, and they're all over. Guys are busy all the time. So Pymlico, since 2011, have released 8 albums, mostly all instrumental. Super massive. This one was released in 2022, I believe, on the Norwegian Apollon Records. And guest musicians included Roy Stolt from the Flower Kings and members of Airbag. So what does this all sound like? This super massive. It's symphonic, it's funky, there's some jazz fusion, some spyish soundtrack sounds. It's all instrumental, and if you dig saxophones popping in and out and punctuating that kind of music, as I do, it's a win-win situation. They're a really original instrumental sound, calming. It's not going to tax your mind, and it won't bang you up the head with a harsh sound. So it's kind of a smooth, almost jazzy ride, but in the same way, it's very inventive. Trying to put a blender of all these sounds, ideas, influences into their sounds. So Pymlico, quite interesting. I'll be covering more Pimlico in the future, but I hope this gives you an idea of the sound. Um, and that's about it for now. That's a grab bag of some picks here. I would say the best of these four that I can recommend to you is the PTF, really surprising. I'm going to try to locate more of their music. And Oddleaf, the debut, was a very interesting band who also needs more listeners. Please, Deception Store, these guys, Pimlico, you want to hear their music, Bandcamp, YouTube, look around, you might find some stuff. And as for buying, the usual sources, you know, sometimes you'll get lucky. That's our show for today. I'll be back soon with more Prog.